Welcome back from the break, Rams. It's time for our game selections for the week, and we have all college basketball. But first, we'd like to introduce you to our guest picker for the evening, David Carlson. David is the producer for Local Beats and will be joining the sports desk tonight. But in any case, let's get into our first game, which happens to be what you would expect. Colorado State and San Diego State in about 90 minutes or so. Okay, so couple things to start out. First, we know that I love CSU basketball. Second of all, we know that the city of San Diego is my mortal enemy.
Oh man.
I hate them. I don't like the Padres. I don't like SDSU.
Okay.
I'm not a San Diego fan.
Okay.
But when we're looking at the seasons that San Diego State versus CSU have had, and just knowing that Viejas Arena is one of the most difficult places to play in all of college basketball. Like, it doesn't matter how good SDSU is, and it doesn't matter how good the other team is. That's just a hard place to play. Yeah. And I'm going to go with the Aztecs, as much as I hate to say it.
No, I'm going to agree with you, but I think that CSU wasted their chance. They had them at home. They had the largest attended crowd this year, right? So, I mean, they had their chance. They lost it. That's why I'm going SDSU. Also, I think SDSU is the only Mountain West team that can make the tournament, so I feel like this is an easy pick.
Whoa, the only?
I think the only.
I think there's
Could. I don't even know. I don't know if they'll make it.
Mike.
Clearly weren't here last week.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Mike and Madeline. I don't like to root against, CSU. Not necessarily rooting against them, but just picking other teams besides them. It's just, the facts are there. They're just overall, we outsized. They have a much, much better record. You said it best. We had our chance. We were literally right there. There's just no way, in my opinion, they can pull off that big of a win in Viejas. So I'm going to have to go STSU, unfortunately.
Well, I'll be the lone picker of CSU here.
You're brave.
I got to root for my boys. Despite all the statistics we can look at, despite looking at San Diego State's record, and despite them being ranked, I lived in New York growing up, and I root for the Jets. Rooting for mediocre green and white teams is what I do. So live and die with what I know.
There you go.
Let's go CSU.
Go Giants from New York, by the way. But anyways.
And now to yet another Mountain West showdown. New Mexico travels to Boise tomorrow to face the Broncos. If you are unfamiliar with what happened the last time these two teams met up, it was an overtime thriller. Boise State lost by 2 down in the pit. There is, a little bit of controversy that occurred, a little halftime showdown between the Boise State team and the New Mexico baseball team. You heard me right. The baseball team. Yeah, it was a whole thing. And so I think Boise, they want it. They want it. And they had that barely winner against us. Yeah. They just had a close game against, I think it was Nevada. Mm-hmm. So they're coming in, and it's at home too. I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Boise. I don't have as much analysis. They're better in conference. I think they're the better team. Agree with you what you're saying. They want it more. I think they're going to get this one.
I agree. I'm going to go Boise too. New Mexico kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion, this year. Yeah. And they came out really strong, but they've kind of been, lacking a little bit.
Against bad teams.
Yeah, exactly. I believe they've lost to Wyoming, who are the other ones, Air Force, San Jose. That to me is inexcusable. Yeah. And I know Boise, in that overtime loss, that sucks, but I think overall they're the better team, and they're at home. It's no doubt in my mind that they're going to take the win.
Yeah, I don't know much about Boise State or New Mexico, but I do know that I really like those cool little blue fields that Boise State has at home. So just based on that, roll Broncos tonight. That's what we're rolling with.
All right.
Unanimous across the board. We're all going with Boise.
Never
Look at that. And moving beyond the Rockies, it's a Big 12 matchup in Waco between number 9 Baylor and number 8 Texas. So when you're looking at this game, both of these teams have a game in between this matchup. So it's a little further out into the future, but honestly, it's going to be a good Texas matchup. It is at home for Baylor, and so I think having that, you always get a little bit of a home field or home court, whatever you want to call it, advantage. And so I think it's two really strong teams. Honestly, I think it's going to be a close matchup. I think it's going to be a toss-up. I just went with Baylor because they're at home.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Texas. I think Baylor had that blow-up against Kansas. Easily should have been a win. They lost that one. Even though I know they're in Baylor, they're still in Texas, so it's a home game for either team. I think Texas is the better team. Obviously, they're ranked higher. I'm going with Texas for this one.
I'm with you, Mike, on this. I think you're right. Texas has such that sports culture around them. It's like it really – home court field is huge, but for them, there's going to be fans from both sides. And also, I believe Texas is having some momentum. They just had a huge win against Oklahoma, while, you know, Baylor just did lose to Kansas. So I think Texas has a little more momentum. Even though they're going to be in Baylor, they're ranked higher, they're going to win.
I can't root for Texas. I'm sorry. Longhorn basketball, Longhorn football. When we talk about that, I think Dallas Cowboys, I think Los Angeles Lakers, and I think about those fans, and I just can't root for that. So let's go Baylor Bears tonight.
Understandable. Fans can 100% ruin whether or not you cheer for a team. That is so true. So I'll never cheer for the Padres. Next up is one of the most heated rivalries in college basketball. 6th rank and Mike's favorite team, Purdue, welcomes the Indiana Hoosiers into Mackey Arena. Okay, so obviously, if you've been watching college basketball this year, you know that Purdue is a powerhouse. They were good last year. They're even better this year. I mean, you know, Evan Beatty, over 7 feet tall. Oh, it's Zach?
Zach Edey.
Oh, Zach Edey. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sorry. I got it confused with another player. I'm so.
No, I think they're a great
Sorry,
team.
Mike.
They're not my favorite team.
Really?
But
You've been hyping them up all year.
This year, I really do like them. I mean, he's just unguardable as a player. But Indiana did beat them. But again, that was not in Mackey, which is Purdue's home court. And again, they're 13-1 in Mackey. Their only loss came to Rutgers. That was just a fluke game. I don't think they lose in Mackey. I'm going Purdue.
Oh, yeah, 100% Purdue. I love watching him play.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just so funny. It's not funny, but it's just like the fact that he played baseball, right? Isn't that what it was? He and then randomly started playing basketball.
Imagine him playing baseball.
I don't know. That's what I heard. But I think Purdue has this one. They're at home, and Hey, don't say anything bad about Aaron Judge.
I'm not saying anything bad about Aaron Judge. I'm just saying he's not 7'4".
That's true. Could you imagine if he was, though? Just saying. I think Purdue's going to win.
I'll break up the trends here. I'm going to go with the Indiana Hoosiers today. What I'm thinking about when I look at this game is that Purdue has lost 3 out of their last 5, one of which, as mentioned earlier, was to Indiana. Although this game is at home, and although I do think Purdue is a powerhouse, they've ruined my March Madness bracket far too many times for me to pick them in any game. So roll Hoosiers.
There you go. That's a good reason.
Well, okay then. And finally, there are a few exciting matchups on the women's side this weekend, but the one that sticks out is from the Pac-12 powerhouse. Stanford travels to Salt Lake City to battle number 8 Utah. If you know anything about women's basketball, there are a couple names that are always in the conversation. South Carolina, they're always up there, but another one, Stanford. Every single year. They're a powerhouse. Their coach is one of the best college women's basketball coaches of all time. I just think it's hard to beat them. I know they're in Utah, but still.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm going to go Utah here. I think it was a close game last time they played, but they were at Stanford's home. I think now they're in Utah. I think it's a different story. I think Utah takes this one.
I am going to have to disagree, Mike, for the first time today, which is insane. I'm going to go with Stanford. I just think, like Madeline said, they are just such known being a powerhouse, and also I think there was rumors that Steph Curry was at their last game, so I think that's going to be...
Gives them a good aura or what?
Yeah, that's mojo. I think they have some good mojo going to this one. I mean, Steph Curry in the house, I'm taking that.
Yeah. Well,
but will he be in Utah?
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. Good question.
Do they need him there? Does the mojo transfer? Is it like? Yeah.
It might not be transferable.
Might as well try. Yeah.
Maybe they'll get a Jazz player.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Rudy Gobert.
Laurie Marketing pulls up. I can respect that.
Oh.
Where is Gobert?
He's in Minnesota now.
Yeah. Either way, for me, I'm going to be picking the Cardinals, and the reason for that is we had about a 60-degree day today, and when I think of 60-degree weather, I think nice weather. I don't think of Utes, I think of birds, and a cardinal is one pretty-looking bird. So let's go Stanford, go get a W.
Solid reason.
All right.
Solid reason.
Good reasons.
I like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, mascots, that's legitimate reason to pick teams. I'm in full agreement.
Yeah.
That was probably 60% of the reason I wanted the Phillies to win the World Series. I think the Fanatic's really cool.
Fanatic. And then what's the Flyers mascot
Gritty.
now?
Yeah.
Gritty. Gritty is phenomenal.
Gritty, number one on my mascot tier. My 17th birthday cake was Gritty.
As it should be. As it absolutely should be.
I know.
Logos are great too. Like they got those tree for
the tree.
Stanford.
I know.
I've never been there, but I would love to go someday and see all the trees. But
and they're really
I agree.
smart.
They are very smart.
Very smart university.
And well, Ram fans, that's all the sports action we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in to CTV Cooks tomorrow to spice up your week. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and have a great night.